This is going to sound a little weird, but one of my heroes recently has been Ariana Grande. What I can look at her and see is she is someone who struggled to be who she is. I can see in her eyes that brokenness. I can see where she had to fight to be herself. And for me, I've always had this strange balance between doing and being. Because very often we do, and we stop being. We get caught up in the stuff that needs to be done. Done being a extension of do. And we end up our whole life working and trying to get stuff done, and we forget what does it mean to be. And so there's moments where you can find complete and utter silence, and I don't necessarily mean literally. I mean that quiet place deep inside where you feel yourself. The point where all of those masks and images that people project onto you get stripped away. That you don't have to be a role anymore. And I always talk about, that masks that we wear. And those are many of the masks we wear, we create for ourselves as defense mechanisms. And lots of the masks we wear are projected by others. And particularly the ones that are forced onto us as children can be pretty difficult to get rid of. I used to teach at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and I remember having this student. I taught history, and she was in, and she came into my office, and she was just crying. And she says, "Oh, I love history. I can't get enough history, but I have to be a biologist, and I'm here studying microbiology, and I do well at microbiology, but I hate every moment of it. But I do it because that's the only way I'm going to get to college, because that's the only thing my parents will pay for." And that's a good example of somebody forced into doing and not allowed to be. So for me, being is an expression of who we really are deep down, deep down. This is going to sound a little weird, but one of my heroes recently has been Ariana Grande. And a lot of people look at Ariana Grande and say, who the hell is she that you would look at her as a hero? And what I can look at her and see is she is someone who struggled to be who she is. I can see in her eyes that struggle, that brokenness. I can see her timeline and see where she had to fight to be herself. And you can see her now. She's fabulously wealthy. She's fabulously well known. She's also become a really decent human being. She worries about other people. She worries about community. Um, she does what she is. I saw an interesting little video of her waking up in the morning and getting her little dog, and apparently she has a bunch of rescue dogs, which that makes me think she's a decent person. But there she was with no makeup, not afraid to be there on film with no makeup, and she understands that there's a certain theatrical part to being Ariana Grande. But when I saw that video, I saw her as herself. She didn't have to do anything. She could just be. And she's become sort of my hero for that, because I look at all the other people that have, crazy amounts of money, and they're pretentious. They're arrogant. They're cruel. There are so many things, and so much of the negatives are about being forced to do or accepting those things that are projected upon you, who strip themselves down, even in the public eye, particularly in the public eye, and can be themselves. And another way of saying that is, one of the terms I use frequently is striving for authenticity. And I've had people ask me before, I've actually done previous videos about this, where people have asked me, why are you so holy? Why do you act so holy? Well, I don't act holy at all. I don't even try to be holy. All I try to be is me, be authentic. And very often, true being looks like being holy. And that's okay. Try to be you. That's the most important thing there is just to be you, without any masks, without any BS, without any pretension, without any arrogance, without anything. Just be you. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If we are going to approach the Creator with a mask, that's death. For us to genuinely approach the Creator, we have to strip ourselves down to the bare bone and say, here I am, Lord. What will you do with me? That's what God ultimately wants to hear. I will be what I am. I will be what you have made me to be.